to Storybaggers. Today we'll be reading Chapter 4. On with the story. Early the next evening, Bobble and Vesper were flying together in the moonlight at the edge of the orchard, practicing for their end-of-term practical exam. Before they could move up to the next class, the AAA's, Amazingly Advanced Agility, they had to show Dr. Kamuri that they could avoid bumping into hard things, trees, and soft things, each other, and that they could find food on their own. At this particular moment, Bobble was doing a wobbly barrel roll around Vesper, who was flying in a slow, straight line towards a particularly juicy-looking apple. "Look at me! Whee! I'm upside down!"
"Watch it, Bobble! You nearly stuck your foot in my ear."
"Sorry. Uh-oh. Whoa!" Bobble wobbled dangerously close to a sticky-out branch, righted himself, and grinned at Vesper. That was fun. Flushed with success, Bobble sniffed the air. This is it, he thought. Now is the time. Right now. I'm going lower. Before Vesper could say anything to put him off, Bobble stuck his tongue out for extra stability, pulled his wings firmly under control, and dipped down to wobble just above the tangly stalks that grew in the rows between the apple trees. He closed his eyes for a second or two, and let himself bob up and down, savouring the naughty aromas rising from the fallen apples. He reckoned, if he really concentrated, that he could probably get even closer. He didn't mean to land. He really didn't. But as he glided over a particularly smelly patch, Bobble's left wing twitched and pitched him headlong into the ground. Plah! Bobble spat out the unexpected mouthful of fermenting apple, making a mental note, slightly fizzy old socks with a dash of sour mud. Vesper hovered, fearful, overhead.
"Are you nuts? Bobble, get up! What do you think you're doing? Your mum's gonna kill us! Get up, quick!"
But even if he had wanted to, Bobble was too dazed to go anywhere quickly, and the fermenting apple was making him light-headed. So he shook his head and sat, absent-mindedly picking off the leaf mould where it had stuck to his new waistcoat. Then he turned his head from side to side, taking in the different scents and sights of the orchard floor. "Hey, Vesper, it looks so different down here. Weird and sort of high, but low. Whoa, you've got to come down here and have a look." Vesper was really flapping now.
"You batty bat! I think I heard something! Get up quick! It could be a fox or a night crawler or anything! Bobble, get up!"
From his dark patch under the bramble, Boo sat back and watched the stumblings of the little fruit bat with interest. How could a bat be so wobbly? Did it not have wings? Where were its claws? What was it doing rolling around on the floor like that? Was it in pain? Perhaps it had seen something it wanted to bite, but couldn't quite reach it. Boo raised his nose and sniffed the air for the telltale warmth of a prey animal, but he could detect nothing other than the warmth of the small bat who was now struggling to get up off the orchard floor. Instinctively, Boo licked his lips. Time to introduce himself. "Hello?" Bobble heard the voice from over his left shoulder, twisted round to see who it was, and fell over again. Now he had a clear view of who had just spoken to him. It was a bat, but not a fruit bat. He didn't know any bat that would knuckle over the grass like that. Nightcrawler! Bobble's brain was screaming at him. Get up! Get up! And then he realised that it wasn't his brain. It was Vesper who was flapping frantically above him.
Get up, Bobble, get up! It's going to eat you! It's going to drink your blood for breakfast!"
Boo stopped in his tracks and watched as the flawed fruit bat struggled to its feet. Then he looked up at the fat little fellow bouncing overhead. That's a little overdramatic, don't you think? Drink your blood for breakfast? Ooh, thank you, but no. He burped delicately, raising a small claw to cover his mouth. I've already eaten. He turns his attention back to Bobble. You're not supposed to come down here. Bobble gulped. I know. I didn't mean to land. The grass reached up to grab me. He looked down sadly. I think I've messed up my waistcoat. I'm going to be in so much trouble for this. Boo thought back to his recent encounter with old Batwings. I know how that feels. Do you want a claw? Bobble couldn't help but stare at the enemy. While horrified at the thought of actually being touched by a nightcrawler, the young bat didn't look so different to him or Vesper, to be honest. No nasty smell, no sinister laugh, no pointy fangs. Ah, wait. Yes, those teeth actually were quite pointy. Pretty pointy, in fact, yes. Bobble swallowed, hard. He knew he'd never be able to do it on his own. That would be very helpful, thank you. Bobble fully expected Vesper to faint straight out of the sky and hit the grass beside him, but his friend stayed put, flapping grimly, ready to fly off for help if the stranger looked like he was going to take a bite of Bobble. The Nightcrawler hooked a neat claw under Bobble's waistcoat and part walked, part dragged him over to a small tree stump. It was like hauling a furry duffel bag over rough ground, and Boo was panting by the time they got there. Blithering bat flaps, what do fruit bats have for breakfast? Watermelons? Right, if you climb up there, it might give you enough drop to get your wings stretched out before you hit the ground. Thank you, I don't know your name. Boo. Above them, Vesper squeaked loudly. The Nightcrawler looked up and sighed. Not Boo. Boo. Just Boo. He looked at Bobble. That's my name. Honestly, your friend up there's a bit of a twitcher, isn't he? Bobble couldn't help but grin. Thanks, Boo. I'm not sure I would have been able to get off the ground without your help. Boo shrugged cheerfully. No, you wouldn't. You need to be more careful. It's not safe down here for your kind. The masked bat inside Bobble raised a glossy eyebrow. You sound like my mum. Boo glanced around. Well, maybe you should listen to your mum. Now, you'd better get going. I can't be seen with you. Vampires don't get involved with fruit fuzzies. Fruit fuzzies? Bobble, who had clawed his way to the top of the stump, wobbled in indignation and nearly fell off again. Boo grinned wickedly. Yeah, that's what we call you. Bobble was about to retort when he thought about the name Nightcrawler and stopped himself. Now that he actually thought about it, a name could look very different depending on which side of that name you happened to be on. Before he could think of anything clever to say in response, Boo raised his snout, sniffed twice, and bounded off, having caught the scent of something far more interesting. In tomorrow's Storybaggers, Boo is on the hunt and a story is in danger. Till then, stay safe everyone, stay inside, and good night.